Hi, Thomas from Breakup Resilience, and today we're going to talk about alcohol. And alcohol is probably one of the worst things that you can take into your body, especially if you are going through a bad breakup, because it amplifies your emotions, essentially. And if you're having a depression because you're grieving the end of a relationship, or you're grieving the fact that your ex-girlfriend has treated you badly, alcohol is just going to intensify it so much. And I understand that it's important for you to get out of the house and be hanging out with friends and partying, but the problem is that alcohol it can just switch at any point. The spirit that you are taking into yourself, whether it's the beer spirit, the wine spirits, whiskey, vodka, alcohol, right? It can switch and turn so quickly. You can be happy and silly 1 minute, and then within a few seconds you can turn into an absolute monster. And this is, of course, why you should stay the fuck away from alcohol, especially during a breakup. During a breakup, stay the hell away from it. But post-breakup, when you're trying to get over your ex-girlfriend, my God, the process that you should be going through is one of deep level change and sober. Because if you're going to be going into like a hypnosis session with me or anyone else, or you're going to go into a therapy session of any kind, a coaching session, whatever, you have to be sober, because otherwise it's not effective and you're just wasting your time and you're wasting your money. And being hungover is not a good idea anyway. I mean, alcohol is a depressant, okay? Now look, I understand. I've been there myself. I still drink alcohol to this day, but I haven't been in a relationship, or I'm not getting over a breakup at this point. But I could tell you a few stories, maybe I will one day, maybe I won't, of how alcohol completely fucked my mind, especially when I was getting over the last girlfriend, because that's the one I can remember the most. It's so bad. So stay away from it. Now this is obviously a bit more difficult, because then you're also dealing with maybe an addiction to alcohol, or at least if it's not an addiction, we can say you might have a drinking problem as well. So these are two different things that need to be dealt with, which is fine. But in some ways this is amazing that you're going through this change, because you are going to grow, and you are going to grow into eventually a better version of yourself. And if you are able to give up alcohol, at least for this period of time, maybe you'll give it up for a longer time. And you can look at any YouTube channel to do with alcohol and giving up and sobriety, and they will tell you all the qualities, the good things about giving up alcohol. So you'd be like, hitting two birds with one stone. Giving up alcohol and giving up your ex, essentially. Because addiction, if we want to call it addiction, is about having a stimulation that you're hooked on, right? It could be alcohol, it could also be your ex. In fact, I would say that you probably do have an addiction to your ex if you're here and you can't get over her. You've got an addiction to the thoughts of her, and the emotions that are attached to those thoughts. So essentially these things are very similar, and yeah, they need to be dealt with. But I'll just make it very, very screamingly obvious, if it isn't already, alcohol can kill you. And you know, suicide is a real thing. And I think that sometimes a lot of suicides or homicides happen because of alcohol influence. There's some statistics out there, and they're pretty high, you know. And so I would stay the fuck away from alcohol. And to be honest, you know, where do you drink alcohol? If it's at home by yourself, that's one thing. Still, you know, of course that's not ideal, it's not good at all. But also, when you're like out partying and socializing, you're also going to be wanting to talk to girls. And I might talk about this in another video. This might not be a good idea, because if you get rejected, which is inevitable, because dating and the seduction of women, shall we say, is a numbers game as well as a skills game, but it's still a numbers game. You know, if you get rejected by a woman while you're recovering from a breakup, it will have a compound effect, and you will feel like you'll get really upset. Add alcohol to that situation, it's crazy. So I wouldn't even go there. Not for now. Find something else to do. I'll probably make videos on what else you can be doing. But you need to be taking a sabbatical from, if that makes sense, a sabbatical from alcohol. Just be leaving all that stuff behind. And don't get me started on substance abuse. I mean, again, it's just, no. And I've been there, and I might talk about that in more detail later. But for now, on alcohol, just don't. You know, there's more healthy things to do, a lot more healthy, and you will feel better about yourself, which is key. Okay. However, if you do have issues like this with alcohol or substance abuse, and you're trying to get over your ex, and you're serious about this, okay, then you can get in contact with me. There's various links down here. Yeah, and this is from someone who's been through this multiple times. It's in the book that I'm writing at the moment. I go into great detail about my past life, and yeah, some of what we're talking about in this video is there. But I've since been able to study hypnotherapy, NLP, generative coaching, as well as being a person who's gone through this. I'm here, okay? And you can get in contact via email or the website, and yeah, you can make this happen. We can make this happen. We can turn you from broken into growing and strong. And you know, plants and trees, they don't get strong by not having a bit of wind. You know, they don't get strong by just living in an easy life. You know, you get strong by having a bit of turbulence, and that's a good thing, right? Anyway, so until next time.